there are very few cases where ordinary people's voices have been called on or shared with us as the public. What do they think about alcohol advertising? Does it have an impact on how much they drink? Do they want it in their communities? Don't they want it in their communities? Where do we see more advertisements and where do we see fewer? We haven't been seeing that information. In the suburban areas, say the Santons and the Rosebanks of the world, you have very few alcohol adverts, and you definitely don't have adverts that speak about pricing. And you don't have big, massive billboards one on top of the other. But if you go out to Alex, you go to Soweto, you go to Orange Farm, or you go to the Northern Cape, Western Cape, outside of the major metropolitan areas, you will find lots of adverts, very big ones, always price focused, because they're trying to encourage people to see that alcohol is actually very cheap and very affordable in South Africa, and that encourages people to buy. The alcohol industry treats rich people and poor people differently, and they treat people differently depending on where they live. If you live in a township, you don't have the right to have peace and quiet in your neighborhood, because alcohol must be sold until 10 or 12 at night, and it must be sold with a lot of loud music, and it can be sold without people having a defined area in which to sell it. If you try to do the same thing in Sandton, the police will be called within 5 minutes. The way we hear about drugs, telling us always that this is the problem and this is the way people behave, is what we need to hear about alcohol as well. Initially, before we started working on this campaign, we started doing our research between 2007 and 2009, and we only launched in 2010. So you get the impression, even from everyone we were working with, that everyone in South Africa drinks alcohol, and that it's very, very widespread. When we looked at the actual data that the Medical Research Council had collected, we found that only 49% of South Africans drink alcohol and 51% don't. And that figure has changed. Now it's about between 35 and 40% who drink alcohol and 60% who don't. But if you look at the advertising and you look at what coverage we hear, it's like a common sense view that everyone's doing this. But everyone who's doing it is getting prominence in the media and in social spaces, and those who don't drink are not being given a big face out there in the world or in the country. Right now, the only people that are telling people about alcohol is the alcohol industry, and they have a vested interest. They want to make money, so they want to sell. So they're not telling us, that we'll get a pooza face after 15 years of drinking alcohol. They only show us beautiful people. So we feel that there is a role to play to give people the information about pregnancy, about their health, about their economics, so that they can decide whether this is a way they want to live or they don't want to live.